So why even level up corn bots right now? Well, if you want to crush Eidolons to bits, and want the easiest Eidolon hunting setup, then you would want Voidrig. Want to farm Thumpers, Steel Path Thumpers that is, and farm Acolytes in open worlds at the same time? Then you would want a Voidrig. Want to do Isolation Vaults solo with ease? Then you would want a Voidrig. Want to do Orphex Venom in the future? Then you would want a Voidrig. But squad leader, what about Bonewidow? Don't worry, we will talk about her in this video. In case you have some troubles farming corn bots, then I have a guide for it which you can watch after this video. I will just leave the link at the end of this, but for now, let's focus on the topic on hand. So I have said a lot of Voidrig in the first part of this video. It's because I think that the most useful corn bots, and probably the first corn bot that every player must own right now is Voidrig. Don't get me wrong, Bonewidow is fun with his melee and heal, but admit it or not, Bonewidow can't comprehend the damage of Voidrig. Reaching 200k damage with this corn bot is easy that you can burst some high level big bosses without breaking a sweat. So to make it short, Voidrig first, before you even think of getting Bonewidow. Now the question is, how do you level them up fast? If Orphex Venom event was here, then it wouldn't take longer than 10 minutes to level up your corn bot, but since we got no clue on when will the event comes back, all we do now is use what is available. There are 3 missions I can recommend. 1 Island, the Railjack mission, the survival one in the Vale Proxima. This is the most suited leveling spot for Bonewidow in my opinion because for 2 reasons. Enemy levels are not too high, and secondly, her meat hook ability works on almost all enemies in this survival mission. But it also works with Voidrig, only slower compared to the missions I will show later. In this mission, you can stay for as long as you need it, but you might want to step away from this mission especially if you don't have a good Railjack yet, as to get to Vale Proxima, you will need to finish up a few Proxima planets first, and that would take a lot of investment and effort. If you do have the node unlocked right now, then go ahead and level up your Bonewidow now. Deimos bounties also are a perfect spot for leveling Bonewidow as infested enemies are easy to kill, and the big enemies do give out huge affinity when killed. Just be sure to do it in normal star charts as you don't want to get overwhelmed by high level infested. Also, you need a Warframe support to take away some aggro from enemies. I've tried a couple of supportive cast for this leveling method like Limbo Subsumed with Decoy. The thing is, you cast Decoy and then banish it and it goes invulnerable as it's on the rift. The Decoy will aggro the enemy and you can safely level up your corn bot with this. It's a good option, but don't take it on high level missions like the leveling method for Voidrig I will show you earlier, because even with natural talent, the HP of Decoy is not enough to withstand one simple hit from high level enemies. Another great option is Octavia's Resonator. Just drop the Resonator and take away all aggro against your corn bot. A Resonator Octavia is a good option, but Titania's Lantern is top on my list for this leveling method. Bonewidow or Voidrig, Titania's Lantern will help you decrease the enemy aggression to almost 0, and you can safely kill them with your corn bot. Desecrate Necros also works, as it gives you both health and energy for your corn bot, but it's not reliable in high level leveling. What mods do you consider first on leveling Bonewidow, or even Voidrig on these missions? First off is survivability, and then, for Bonewidow, you should try the melee mods and then duration, power strength, and efficiency if you can fit them. Take note that you will need to spend an Orogin potato on your Necramech to increase their max mod capacity when unranked. Let's consider first that you only got your corn bot just by now. If this is the case, then you need to level your Bonewidow on this type of missions I have mentioned earlier, and, in the case of Voidrig, you can do it on both Deimos bounties and Vale Proxima survival, or you can head into the normal star chart in Orb Vallis, and do either Thermia Fractures or securing the Corpus Spaces. The good thing about Thermia Fractures is it yields a higher experience compared to securing Corpus Spaces, but sadly, it's not a recurring world state event that occurs once every few weeks at Orb Vallis, and right now, you can't do this mission. The most available method in leveling corn bots is probably the mission in Orb Vallis wherein you secure Corpus Spaces. There are 3 spots good for this leveling method, and they are the Grow Site, Central Maintenance, and Temple of Fabrication. In my case, Grow Site and Central Maintenance are the 2 most reliable. To capture a base, kill enemies in the area of one such capturable base. these enemies have a chance to drop a data mass that can be inserted into the corpus systems to begin the capture process. The corpus systems must then be defended for 2.5 minutes. After that, several corpus enemies must be killed. At this point, the base is surrounded by a blue objective marker. The beam will become blue in color and a Solaris United agent will appear. Any automated turrets that are still functional will also become friendly, targeting corpus foes instead. Take note that you need to successfully capture the base so you can proceed on capturing the next one. Also, try to kill those turrets as those will be pesky since aggro control abilities like Octavia's Resonator don't work all the time against them. They will try to shoot your cornbot and you don't want that to happen. Once you drop your Resonator, or affected an enemy with Lantern, then you can go ahead and pilot your cornbot and kill all the enemies. Rinse and repeat the process until you fully level up your cornbot. The most suitable cornbot for this leveling is Voidrig. Why not Bonewidow? Because not all enemies in this mission can be affected by Meat Hook, that one ability of Bonewidow that can keep her alive. She usually gets overwhelmed by enemies on this mission. If there's a Thermia Fracture mission available, then might as well run that mission when leveling Bonewidow. Once you get a Voidrig, you need to run the Capture the Corpus Bases mission until you have enough rank to use Arcbex. When you have Voidrig's Exalted Dual Cannons, then it's time to level up faster. In terms of modding, the first mods that you need to prioritize are survivability, efficiency, power strength, and duration. For his Arcbex, you need to fix in at least the Rubido barrel for damage, elemental mods that form the radiation element, and a critical chance mod, and as every other leveling builds, you would need an Origin potato installed to increase the mod capacity at unranked levels. When you max rank Voidrig, you don't need to get back to the normal star chart. Instead, do the Steel Path version of the Capture the Corpus Bases mission in Orb Vallis. With the help of aggro control Warframes, like Titania and Octavia, you can easily level up Voidrig in Steel Path levels right now. This is because also of the changes that allow you to use all Warframes and Cornbot's abilities at 0 rank when you polarize them. At Mastery rank 10, polarizing Warframes, Archwings, and Necramechs retain all abilities, but reset their ranks to 0. This allows you to use Arcbex at rank 0, giving you the ease to kill enemies and level up your Voidrig fast. Just remember that you shouldn't allow your Warframe to get killed, or the level you acquired from that mission gets reset. It's okay if your Voidrig gets destroyed, and all you need to do is wait for a couple of minutes and run the mission again. But don't ever get your Warframe killed, as those affinities will be lost. So that's it for this video. I hope you have learned a thing or two from this cornbot leveling method. Thank you so much for watching. Squad Leader signing off.